What's up, y'all? It's Monica Dome, and I'm your favorite real mommy reaction channel. Thank you guys for tapping in. It's Monica Dome. We about to dig in and get in here, so we can really let these females know and these mommies know that they need to stop playing with themselves and them kids. They need to do better, treat them kids right, feed them kids, clothe them kids. You know what I'm saying? Because these mommy reactor channels just be tripping. Like, I was trying to degrade and talk really down bad on somebody. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do it a little too, but like this one here really needs to do better. Check me out. Don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe. Quick disclaimer, the views and opinions expressed in this video are my personal opinions only. They are not intended to cause harm, offense, or pass judgment on any individual or group. Please take these comments as personal commentary and not as factual statements about anyone's character or intentions, okay? Now, just because I might think that way doesn't mean that everybody thinks that way. And please, you guys up under the channel, please respect everyone's opinion, okay? And also remember to keep it PG in the comments. Thank you so much, Monica Dome. What will happen to the great 8? What's up? It's your girl Monica Dome. So listen, you guys, now in this video here, it's a video mashup mixed with some new clips, mixed with some throwbacks, okay, just to let everybody know. But listen, so Nika, in this video I want to discuss the long-term effects of having a mother like Shanika Grant, okay? You know, having to live with the trauma and the neglect, what will happen to the abandonment, you know, the non-care, the just not caring for the children at all. What are the long-term effects? Some people believe that they will forever be the same. Some people believe that the children, the grade 8, will not be able to function properly in society. Some people believe that some will get away from her and eventually have decent lives. What do you guys think about the grade 8? How do you think, you know, the way that she's raising them now will affect them when they get older? Let me know. Drop down in those comments and let me know. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate, you know, you guys commenting in the comment section. I love it. You know, but Nika is just a mess. You know, she's all over the place. It's no order in her home. You know, the kids don't eat right. What do you guys think will be the long-term development of the grade 8? Okay, let me know. I personally think, my personal opinion, I do believe that some will remain up under her, you know, and will have some trauma just like her, you know, carrying on the generational curse. And then again, I do believe that some of the children will escape her. Some people believe that they'll forever be up under her, all of them. Some people believe that, you know, they won't be able to function in life. But like I said, my personal opinion, I think that the older kids, I do believe that they'll eventually get away from her and, you know, get friends because they're more hip to the social media and, you know, the things that people say. Leah has, you know, expressed a lot of times that she is fine. You know, everything is good over there, but we know that not to be true. So just, guys, let me know. Check it out. Now, this here is the smaller children. We have Kira, Isaiah, Lena, and Sasa. Okay. Now, the other 4 kids, they're older. This we know. But we're just wondering, you know, we've already seen the neglect with the teething. We've already seen the neglect with some of their development, their speech. You know? I mean, it's just very sad to see. It's very sad to watch. It's very kind of weird sometimes to talk about, you know, because this woman has no care in the world for her kids' development. She doesn't care about her own development, let alone having to care for 8 smaller minor children, you know. And then this is Leah and Kaya. These are the 2 older girls from Hayward. You know, we need to talk about this. I'm just wondering, you know, from her always letting the kids be bullied and unkept and unwashed. You know, this is right here is the picture where they had that hairstyle that Naya did for them. And they, you know, had it in their heads for a very long time. I know that when they go to school, they are picked at. You know, people talk about them. I know that they get bad treatment, you know. Will always get online and pretend like she really cares about these children, but we know for a fact that she doesn't. Real moms care about their kids having their hair done decent at least once a month in a protective, you know, style. or if you have to go to the Dominicans to get a blowout or whatever, even if you have to do a simple style at home, you're supposed to be able to keep your kids together. What do you guys think will be the long-term development of being harassed and bullied at school and picked on by your peers because your mother fails to do what she's supposed to do as a mother? Do you guys have any stories? Were you guys picked on as a child? How did it make you feel? I just want to give a little bit of insight and take some opinions and some comments on, the development, like I said, of these children. Leah and Kaya, they always looked unkept. The long-term abuse of them sleeping on floors and not just really being taken care of properly. What do you guys think? Please drop down in those comments and let me know. She doesn't care, but then she'll get online and, scream and doing all of this.
For my kids, I would kill myself today and let myself go home to the Lord and let you take care of this shit. But I love my fucking kids enough to stay humble and stay peaceful in this fucking world. I told that lady. I said I would kill myself because of the fact that I cannot be without my fucking children. I love my fucking kids. I love my kids.
You love your kids, but you don't do right by them. You love them, but you don't want to get them decent clothes to wear back and forth to school. You love them, but you don't want to get their hair done and keep them clean and neat and tidy and making sure that they have personal hygienes. You know what I'm saying? It just makes no sense to me. You always get hygiene for the kids. People have donated you hygiene and you did nothing but hide the hygiene and the beauty products and brushes and gel and stuff like that in the car, The sad thing about it is you don't care. He doesn't care. Nobody cares about these children. Nobody but us. And we can only do so much. We can't do too much behind these screens. And we know that the county does not care about those children either, because if they did, these kids would not even be in her custody. To me, this woman needs to have her parental rights taken away. I'm sorry. I thought that I would never say something like that about a mother, but about this one here, I definitely believe it. Just look at how Kaya is looking. Look.
So, please don't mind my hair. And also, when I started YouTube, I didn't really give a proper interest. I didn't really give my name, my age, if you didn't already tell, I'm a girl, by the gender and stuff. So my real name is Sakaya. If you already knew that, then thank you for subscribing to my mom's channel, because she does.
These kids are always supporting you, shouting you out up under your posts, commenting on things for you, straight supporting you, helping you. Even Naya helps you. Papa, when he gets a little check, he looks out for you too. I mean, I know that you're their mom and you've looked out for them a teeny bit. But let those kids enjoy their own stuff, okay? This is what you need to be worried about right here. You need to be worried about Kaya's hair. You need to be worried about Leah's hair. You need to be worried about Kara's hair. Okay, Lena's hair and Sasa's hair. Stop letting your kids run around looking any kind of way. Okay? Now, they're going to grow up not wanting to get their hair done and just thinking that it's acceptable for them to be walking around looking crazy in any kind of way, but not you. You'll make sure you go get you some braids from the Africans. Why would a mother do this to her own children? This is just a crime, shame. It's a crime. And to me, she needs to be dealt with because of this. It's wrong.
Get on up there and talk with the principal and see if they can pull the girls out the classroom and see if they can have a talk right in front of me, because I need to really know what's going on. And if she keep talking about it, of course it's bothering her. It's bothering me too, because it's been on my chest for a long time now. It's been like 3 days. It's only been 3 days. And every day she come home with something new, with something different. Oh, mama, they want to be my friends. Or mama, they want me to go to Tayo with her. Or she want me to do this. Or she want me to go on a trip with her. She wants to go on a trip with her for what? So she can kill you and you not coming back home? No. Girl, no. What are you talking about? So,
see, to me, my personal opinion, Nika is delusional, because why would you put in your kid's mind that it's not okay to have friends? It's okay to have friends. You just have to use your discernment and, pay attention to the kind of friends that you're wanting to have. Like you, Nika, you didn't pay attention to who you picked for your baby daddy. Okay, and that's the reason why you're going through a lot of the things that you're going through now. And that's the reason why these kids are suffering too, because to where you lacked as being a providing parent, the other parent should have been the provider, but he was not. That's why you're stuck in your mind thinking that you're independent when you're really totally dependent on the federal government the state government to take care of you. Okay? Like, let's stop being delusional, delulu, okay? Stop making it seem like these kids can't have no friends. You are making these kids socially unaware to society and how the real world works. And it's wrong and it's not right. She psychologically beats down these children, and it's just not right. You know? Why would you create these thoughts in your kid's mind that the world is bad? Just because the world was bad to you doesn't mean that the world is going to be bad to the kids, okay? I'm sorry that you went through this growing up. You didn't really have friends that you could trust. You know, people probably did pick on you and call you names and, you know, things like that. But you shouldn't push that narrative onto your children. You know, you shouldn't, let your kids think that the world is out to harm them, because then when they go outside, they are going to have trust issues. It's just really sad. You just don't care.
Yeah.
Do y'all ever get tired of eating pizza? I do. Yes. Yeah.
So here's the pizza right here. We got a double slice so everybody can have enough to eat. Fresh pizza, y'all. Do a little burn.
Do y'all ever get tired?
Now we're going to talk about how you not feeding them properly has affected their development, their thought process. You know, they don't look healthy. They all look malnourished. Most of all of them have rings around their eyes. It's just very sad, you know. Drop down in those comments and let me know anything, thoughts, opinions, concerns that you have about their nutritional well-being. It's off balance. It's never been on balance. She doesn't feed those kids any fruits and vegetables. What do you think will be the long-term, outcome of the kids being malnourished? What happens with that? What type of relationship are they going to have with food when they get older? In my personal opinion, when I see people, that have been hungry, I often, they often eat a lot. They'll hide and eat food, or they become, very obese. And I'm not trying to say that to be funny, but they usually have some type of issues with food, or, not eating enough.
Always screaming on my channel, Nika, there's not enough food. You don't cook enough food for the kids. Let me show y'all something that pissed me off. That I took my time to cook yesterday. Let me show you how much food they have left over. That's why I don't cook much. Judging y'all, this is spaghetti for the day. Leftover roast and potato.
The kids eat the same thing over and over and over. Spaghetti, beanies and weenies, and pizza. Maybe here and there she'll cook some chicken Alfredo with some oodles and noodles. But it's the same thing. What happens to the body? And if you guys know, let me know in those comments. But what happens to the body of a person who eats the same foods over and over and over? I truly would like to know. My personal opinion, for one, these kids probably will never want to eat any spaghetti ever again in their life when they get older. They've had it so much. I've heard a lot of families that were kind of poor. I heard this one lady one time, she was older. She said her mother had a lot of kids and her mom would always make egg salad sandwiches. So she said when she got older, she never ate egg salad. It's just sad.
My son fine and y'all. He getting fine by the day. Y'all hoes can't have him. Sorry. You can't sign the resume. Look at that. Mm-hmm.
What happens to children who grow up in toxic environments? Will they ever get out? Just like Taquan, he's been in and out of foster homes since he was little. Nika claims that foster care was never caught on her until lies the TikTok fame, as she say. But she also contradicts herself and lets us know that that's not true, because has told us numerous of times that Taekwon and Naya had been in foster care when they were little, and that was way before TikTok. Okay. What happened to Taekwon and Naya? They're still there. They're still there up under Nika. She did not show them any types of survival hacks, tips, or resources. Okay. She has these older children working and feeding her and her household and buying the kids things. We've seen it in numerous of videos. Okay. The proof is in the pudding. Like Vice said. Vice said a lot of things that was going on in Shanika Grant's household. She never will address what Vice Santos said, but she will always, come for the other reactors and things like that. But let's talk about what Vice said. So what ends up happening? She's had relations around the older two kids, and they grow up to start having dealings with each other. That's all I'm going to say about that. A lot of them know what's going on in that household. She thought that it was okay to do certain things around her kids, and then they start acting out on the behaviors as well. And it just became a complete mess. Reason being a 13-year-old having to be on birth control. It's just really sad, but this is the outcome. They're stuck up under her, not knowing how to survive, not knowing how to go out there and get things on their own. It's really sad,
Wash the spoon off. I got to pick place stuff, washing them out, because I'm not about to wash no dishes, okay? We got the cabbage here.
What becomes of children who are neglected and abused and have to live in poverty conditions? What happens to them? What do you think is going to happen with Shanika Grant's children? From her abuse, from her neglect, from her not caring, from her being bitter because of a man that did not want her and decided to move on with his life. And she decided to take it out on the kids. So from her doing so, what type of future are the kids going to have? I mean, that's my question, something that I really wanted to talk about in this video. Like, what happens to kids like that? Like I said, some people think that some will get away, and some people think that they'll just be forever up under her care and trauma and abuse. Only time will tell. We're only able to see what she posts, Now, I'm going to show you guys some clips from Reddit, some comments. We had one person say, some, maybe most of them, inevitably will repeat the cycle, hoping at least a couple, cough, cough, Leah, break the cycle and find good mentors that can help them believe in themselves and show them there's life outside what they've been brainwashed to believe by their breeder. A couple are going to give her hell. They're too young to tell now, but so far it's not looking good, considering Naya, Papa, and HJ is already a crash out. Then we have a comment that says, due to the severe trauma Nika has implied to them, truly none have a chance at success without serious intervention. She has completely destroyed their primary years up to age 5. A few will get out. The majority will either live in between jail streets or Nika's floor. Truly tragic. And all of this was preventable. Then we have the last comment. I think she will allow HJ, Nana, and Sai to continue to live with her. Naya and Papa, they will have the luxury of paying rent to Nika. Kira, Isaiah, Leah, and Kaya will have to be on their own, even if that means living on the streets. She will say they didn't agree to her rent terms and the rules of her home to justify throwing them out. I think Elijah can go either way. It just depends on how she feels at the time. But I'm hoping some will choose to leave the hellhole and start living the life the best way they can. That's how I feel too. It's just completely sad. But I more so have to agree with comment number 3, the last comment. I think I have to agree with that comment the most. I do believe that some will be able to stay and pay their way. I believe that some will leave and some will just, end up giving her, some issues. But the majority of them will be kicked to the curb, I think. Because if you think about it, if they're this small, and when you're small, your parents are supposed to nurture and take care of you. They're supposed to teach you the way, teach you how to pay bills, teach you how to groom yourself, teach you how to keep a household together, teach you how to not get in trouble, teach you not how to curse and try to steal. And this woman has did the complete opposite. She hasn't taught these kids anything. She doesn't even know proper hygiene herself. The kids don't know proper hygiene. They don't know what a proper bed is. They don't know what proper food is. They don't know what it's like to properly go out and to mix and mingle with people besides their peers at school. They don't have really any interaction with outside people to know how to interact with them. And it's just kind of sad. I mean, it's really sad. And she still does not have a care in the world. So if she doesn't care about them while they're small, and and our little babies, she's definitely not going to care about them when they get older and become more needy. They're going to become bigger. They're going to need more. They're going to want more. They're going to want nicer clothes and shoes and, better food. Because we see this one.
Call the CPS for real. Get in this car before I call CPS. I'm about to put this shit on the net, let them see how y'all be acting. Why you walking home? Get in the car. I'm not playing with you. Get your ass in this car and let's go home.
See, this is what we were afraid of. This is the clip where Nika was chasing down HJ, saying that he had taken some money out of her purse for some donuts. He was hungry. See, this is what happens when you take your resources that you have been granted, Shanika Grant, for your kids, and you take their food and their supplies and the things that they need out of their mouths. I call it taking food out of kids' mouths. That's what you're doing. And then they start stealing and doing all types of things because they don't have what they need. When you are low income. Yes, this is what we know. But you still get money. You have enough money to provide what they need. You get more than enough food stamps to have that refrigerator and a deep freezer stocked up. Now let's just get on hair care.
So Kaya has her hair done real pretty. Turn around that way, baby girl. Naya did it for her for school. It looks good. Turn around. We got the yellow and black beads. She did something quick in it because she don't like weave, so it looks good. So Kaya has her.
Nika, I know for a fact that you were picked on when you went to school. And my thing is, why would you want your kids to go through this humiliation? That's how we can tell that you really don't like them. Okay? Because you get Naya to always do their hair, just like how we know you probably got Naya to do her box braids and probably paid her a couple $10. And you go sit yourself down in the African's chair and get $200 to $300 braids. How do you think that makes them feel when they look at you? How do you think Kara and Kaya and Lena feel and Sasa feels when they see you doing this? All we wanted was for you to do better by the kids. Okay? You have subdued so much trauma upon these kids, the older ones and the younger ones, over these years. You've worried about yourself and only you. You've let your addictions, allegedly, your food addictions, allegedly, you being bitter and hateful and sad and letting yourself go, depressed, anxiety, not reaching out to get some therapy and some help. You have created so much trauma, chaos, anger, frustrations, confusion, depression, anxiety onto your children. This is what you have did. The children look so uncomfortable, so unkept, so confused, so not knowing what's going on in their own household. You know, do you think it's cool to have all these CPS cases and DSS running in and out of your house and you not having things in order? Something's really something underlined is wrong with you. This is what we know. Save the kids. So then again, I ask, if this continues, what will be the best interest of the children? How will the Great 8 turn out? Very interesting. Y'all drop down in those comments and let me know how y'all are feeling and what y'all would think will end up happening to Nika and to the Great 8. I'm very interested to know. So much trauma, so much abuse, so much neglect. What will happen? Monica Dawn. Well, you guys, that is the end of the video. It's your girl, Monica Dawn, your favorite Real Mommy Reaction channel. Don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe. And if you would like to donate to the channel, it's Monica Dawn Reactions on Cash App. But listen, you guys, Nika knows she needs to stop playing with herself and those kids, okay? And finally reach out and get some therapy and some help before it's too late. You need to prevent your kids from going and doing all the wrong things once they get older, okay? Learn how to take some corrective criticism and take some help, because this one here has really traumatized those kids. Save the Great 8. Monica Dawn.